What's up, guys? So today we are talking about arm pump and 3 ways to reduce it so you can become a faster, stronger, and safer rider and get those results you want. First thing we're going to talk about is the basics, and that's hydration and nutrition. So to jump into it, we're going to go over carbohydrates and electrolytes and how they affect the body and how they make you perform to your peak potential. All right, so let's talk about carbohydrates and how they're going to help you perform better and get you the results you want and delay that arm pump. So what are carbohydrates? Carbohydrates are broken down into simple sugars and spike your insulin levels. And that's what gives you that energy through the duration of that moto to finish out strong and not get fatigued. So by having an adequate amount of carbohydrates, experts recommend between 30 to 60 grams per hour of exercise. By having that, you will have the energy to get throughout that day of racing or whatever you're doing, feeling fresh. And then what you want to do is you want to make sure you're well hydrated as well, and you're going to want to do that with electrolytes. And electrolytes are important because they are what helps control your central nervous system and your muscles as well. So what is an electrolyte? Well, electrolytes are minerals in your body such as sodium, potassium, magnesium, and they give your body an electric charge. So like a main one that you'll see is sodium. And if you ever purchase Rhino Power, Hydropower, Arma, stuff like that, you'll see they're filled with sodium. So basically, you want to take the carbs and the electrolytes and you want to combine them to give you that optimal performance. With the sodium, you're going to have, like I said, better muscle function and reduce the chance of cramping out because you're dehydrated. And experts recommend that you want to have 300 to 500 milligrams per hour. So for example, if I'm going to take a scoop of Hydropower, that's what I use, great product. I'm going to do that roughly 45 minutes to 30 minutes before my event. I want to drink that 30 to 45 minutes before you race. That's going to give it enough time to digest and fill your glycogen stores properly before you go out and race. And then once you're done with that practice or first moto, you're going to want to sip on another one until you are about to go out and race again. There's that option. That option's great. A lot of people like that option because it is easier. Some people have struggles eating on race day. I know I do. So it's easier and the carbs digest faster. But if you don't want to go that route, or you can even mix this in with that route. And this is another thing I do. I like to mix in foods on race day, but healthy foods. Foods are always good. They're a little bit slower digesting. May be easier on your stomach as well. So if that's what you want to do, you can go that route. So that is step 1 into reducing your arm pump and getting the results that you want. This will hopefully increase your performance on the track and delay that arm pump and make you a faster, safer rider. So now let's jump into step 2. So now we're going to talk about fitness, and this is what I really am looking forward to talking about because I am a personal trainer and I've been working with a top personal trainer or fitness coach for the past couple years, and he's taught me well, and then I decided I wanted to get my certification, and I even worked with him for a month, and I worked at GPF for that duration too. So I've got some good time under my belt now, and that's why I'm making this video, because I want to help you guys. So anyways, we're going to talk about fitness and how that plays into reducing your arm pump. All right, so let's talk about aerobic and anaerobic training and how both of these can elevate you to get you those results and not let you get past on those maybe last couple laps where you're getting gassed out and you can't hold on anymore. So what is aerobic training? Well, aerobic training is very low heart rate, zone 2, zone 3 heart rate training. You should be able to sustain a conversation. It shouldn't be too hard. And you should be doing 3 times the amount of whatever your event is. So for example, if you're a pro motocross racer that racing 30-minute motos, you should do 90-minute aerobic sessions. So this will allow you to raise your ceiling of your performance and be able to go at a higher intensity for longer periods of time and get you to where you want to be. Talk about anaerobic. So what does anaerobic mean? Anaerobic is where your body switches to using carbs as your primary fuel source rather than oxygen. Your body is not using oxygen as its main fuel source in anaerobic training. And therefore, that is why it is important to be fueled up with carbs on race day, or even when you're going to the gym and doing anything. It's what's going to give you that energy. So how can that help reduce that arm pump? Well, with anaerobic training, you're increasing your lactate threshold. So then when you're doing that, you're able to perform at higher intensities before that lactic acid kicks in, and that's going to allow you to not get that arm pump and push farther. So some examples of anaerobic training would be like high intensity interval training, circuit training, threshold training. So you're working at those higher intensities, higher heart rate, and pushing yourself a little bit more than what you would in an aerobic workout. So when you combine the both, you are, like I said earlier, you're raising the ceiling of yourself, and it's going to allow you to perform better and get those results you want in the motos. And another small thing I want to touch on is strength training, because I think that often gets overlooked. When you're riding a motorcycle, it is basically a whole body workout. So it is important to strength train and keep your muscles strong and recovered, so that way you're allowed to push yourself longer into those motos and not get fatigued. It is also important to work on balancing core as well, because there's a lot of balance that goes into riding a motorcycle. So the stronger you are, the more comfortable you are, the less likely you are to get arm pump. All right, so now let's talk about the fundamentals and the proper technique of riding a dirt bike, and how that can help reduce arm pump and make you a better, faster, safer rider. So one, you want to be in the attack position. You want to have your head and chest over the bars. You want to have a strong core, bracing your core, and you're going to want to be in a strong hinge position and squeezing with your legs and toes on pegs. That is going to allow the motorcycle to do what it wants and not overwork yourself. As soon as you get in a vulnerable position, say your knees forward or hunched over, where you're death gripping, that is when you get arm pump. So if you can learn how to ride with the proper technique, that is going to reduce your arm pump. Also, breathing. This kind of goes along with fundamentals and technique, I'm going to say. So breathing, it is important to remember to breathe. If you don't breathe, you're not getting oxygen to your muscles and body, so that's when you start to lock up. So I like to try to breathe on like long straightaways when you kind of have a break, or even in the air. You can kind of let your body relax and get loose, and be able to get that oxygen in and take some deep breaths. So there you have it. There are my 3 things. So I'm going to give you a list of keys to a good race day. 1 is get good sleep the night before, and make sure you are stretching the night before, foam rolling if you have one, or whatever tool that you may have. If stretching is all you have, stretch. Stay hydrated throughout the day before and leading up to that day. And stretch again when you wake up in the morning. Get some quick yoga in, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever, and get a good breakfast in. I know I kind of touched on that. Make sure you eat good. Force it down if you have to. Make sure you're getting hydrated. Then you're going to want to hit a dynamic warm-up about 1 hour, 45 minutes before your first practice session or moto, whatever you're doing, and have a positive mindset. Go into the day with good intentions, and good things will follow. And then lastly, have fun. Remember, you're doing this for fun, and that's how it should be. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, please subscribe, and I should be posting more content like this on a regular now.